The National Electoral Commission nominates presidential candidates from 16 parties and disqualifies CCK's presidential aspirants. One person is killed and 2 others are injured in an incident involving councillorship nomination forms in Ukerewe, Mwanza region. And in sports, former Taifa Stars coach Emmanuel Amunike criticizes forward Farid Musa's move from Tenerife FC of Spain to YANGA Sports Club. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Vanessa Victor. Let's start things off with the national news. The Union presidential aspirant from CCK party, David Majorjele, has failed to meet the criteria to contest the October general election after his running mate from Zanzibar, Ali Said Juma, failed to appear at the National Electoral Commission office in Dodoma, bringing the number of candidates who have been nominated for the presidential race to 60.
I've made progress, although not at the desired goal, because there were some shortcomings from the beginning. My co-candidate, he has not been able to come from Pemba. This has cost us this opportunity. However, I commend the Electoral Commission because they have been fair and are following laws of this country and the Commission during this election, which I believe will be free and conducted in a civilized manner.
Meanwhile, the first presidential candidate to return the nomination form was the incumbent president of the United Republic of Tanzania, Dr. John Magufuli, who arrived at the National Electoral Office at 8:40 a.m., accompanied by his running mate, Samia Suluhu Hassan, who were followed by presidential candidates from 15 opposition parties.
Hatuna katiba yenye misingi mizuri ya demokrasia. Mchakato wa kupata katiba mpya haukukamilika. Chama cha CUF kimetoa maamuzi ya kimsingi kabisa. Ikiwa tutashinda uraisi, basi tutaunda serikali ya umoja wa kitaifa. Serikali ya umoja wa kitaifa ambayo lengo lake mojawapo kubwa litakuwa kukamilisha zoezi zima la kupata katiba yenye misingi ya demokrasia.
Sisi watu wa ACT kama vyama vingine tunahesabia siku ya leo kama siku muhimu ambayo inaanzisha safari ya kuleta mabadiliko ya kweli na ya kuyafanya mabadiliko hayo yawe ya uwazi.
And presidential aspirant from Chama cha Demokrasia na Maendeleo Tundu Lissu and his running mate Salum Mwalimu were the last aspirants to be approved to run for the presidential elections by the National Electoral Commission after verification and meeting the Commission's requirements.
Kinachofuata ni kukabiliana na yeyote yule ambaye ana plani kutuwekea mapingamizi na kukabiliana na mapingamizi hayo kama yatakuwepo, na vile vile sisi kuchunguza fomu za hao wagombea wengine kwa lengo la kuangalia kama wametimiza masharti ya sheria, na kama hawajatimiza masharti ya sheria watawekewa mapingamizi na sisi. Yako mengi tu, mambo mazuri. Tutafika kwenye, tutavuka huo mto tukiufikia. Sasa hivi target yetu ni fupi sana, ni kesho. Ikifika kesho saa 10 hatujawekewa pingamizi au hatujaweka pingamizi, then tutazungumza habari ya mwanzo wa kampeni.
One person was killed and 2 others injured when an aspirant from DODOMA Party was preparing to return his councillorship nomination form to the Assistant Election Supervisor at the ward office in Nyamanga Village, Ukerewe District, Mwanza region.
I'm making a follow-up. I've heard the news. but the police force is conducting an in-depth investigation. This election will be free and fair, just like they've been coming to get forms and have been received well. What I would like to advise them is that campaigns should be done in a civilized manner.
Parliamentary aspirants from Vunjo and MOSHI rural constituencies have returned their nomination forms to the election supervisor at MOSHI Municipal Council after the National Electoral Commission removed the election supervisor from MOSHI District Council due to differences that had occurred with candidates from opposition parties on the nomination form.
Nilipewa hayo maagizo na wakubwa watume.
I was given instruction by the council leaders. I believe that they had enough reasons to do so. And as a public servant, when I'm sent by my superior, my duty is to carry out their orders. The citizens and all political parties to have faith in us that we will follow all procedures in the constitution of this country.
Mimi nimefurahi kwamba nimeweza kukamilisha taratibu zote za kuweza kurejesha fomu.
I'm delighted that I've been able to meet said criteria, and today I'm returning the forms back to the Electoral Commission. I'm hoping that I will be selected to contest in the Vunjo parliamentary seat under the CCM party ticket.
Tumekamilisha zoezi la kurejesha fomu zetu za kugombea ubunge.
We've returned the forms for parliamentary seats. They were verified and we were told today is the last day to return forms. We hope to begin campaigning tomorrow. Our forms have been received and we are confident that the election will be free and fair. We've been received well and have encountered no obstacles.
Bila matatizo yoyote, tunashukuru kwa hili.
Chama cha Mapinduzi CCM's Central Committee and not the National Executive Council of the party will decide on aspirants of Zanzibar's Council of Representatives to contest the October election at a meeting that will be held in Dodoma and not Zanzibar. This was revealed as CCM's presidential candidate Hussein Mwinyi is expected to return his nomination form to the office of Zanzibar Electoral Commission on Wednesday.
The process to select Council of Representatives will be done by the Central Committee on behalf of the National Central Council, which will be done on the 30th in Dodoma. The names will be returned by the Central Committee on the 30th, and everyone will be able to see which constituency he will be representing.
And President Dr. John Pombe Magufuli has inspected 130 vehicles which had been confiscated after being implicated in economic sabotage incidents. Speaking after inspecting the vehicles, President Magufuli commended the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution, the police force and others who had helped to arrest those implicated in incidents of economic sabotage who had used their vehicles to carry out their criminal activities. He directed that the vehicles be given to various government institutions and be used for social and production activities. And residents of Dinyecha ward in Nyanyamba town, Mtwara region, have said that they are forced to buy clinic cards at the health center, which has an x-ray machine that does not work, lacks beds for expectant mothers as well. They voiced the concerns at a public meeting attended by Mtwara District Commissioner Dastan Kyobia.
Women are complaining that they are being asked to pay for cards, yet the hospital has no beds. A special building was to be constructed that would enable the machine to operate. We hope the machine to start to operate once the X-ray building is completed.
ambacho hiyo mashine ni hela kubwa sana.
The machine is very expensive, so I'm asking that we have a meeting there so that we can be shown our area. I shall be bringing you 50 bags of cement for the construction of the building.
Nawaletea mifuko 50 ya cement.
And residents of ARUSHA have said that arrival of the cargo train brings new hope that prices for goods such as cement will decline and enable low-income people to afford construction materials. They said this after the arrival of the cargo train in ARUSHA transporting a consignment of 320 tons of cement.
Najua watu wengi sana.
A lot of people are now on low income, so by the coming of the cargo train, many would have an opportunity to build houses because now construction costs are going to be down. This train carried 320 tons, equivalent to 6,400 bags from Tanga to this place, meaning it would have taken a lot of lorries, and we shall now be transporting our cement by rail. We've been informed that the train came with cement, and the first one came with 800 tons. It is equivalent to 80 lorries. The cost of cement is going to go down, iron sheets too. This is all the work of Dr. John Pombe Magufuli. Honorable President would like the people of ARUSHA to build houses at an affordable cost, and this is why the train has arrived here.
The Office of the Chief Government Chemist has said that it is prepared to ensure no chemicals are used during the October general election. Acting Chief Government Chemist Samanitho Msega made the statement in Dar es Salaam when addressing drivers of vehicles used to transport chemicals.
As a government, we make sure that anyone who deals in chemicals is registered and that he is identified. And in order for him to be sold chemicals, we must know the intended use and the area he will be using. As a government, we are well prepared to ensure that chemical substance is not used as a weapon, especially during this period where there is an election.
Serikali imesema kwamba itaweka udhibiti.
It is good that the government is going to place controls so as to protect the people, because the effects of chemicals are dire, more so to human beings. So I very much support this move, and the government should use every power at its disposal to control improper use of chemicals.
Ili kuweza kudhibiti matumizi ya kemikali kwa njia ambayo sio sahihi.
That is all for the national news. International news is next. In international news, Transparency International, the human rights organization, and the health workers' unions in Kenya have continued to pressurize the government to make public expenditure on the coronavirus funds and to take legal measures against those found to have embezzled the funds. Those developments come as the Ministry of Health announces the number of coronavirus cases has gone up to 32,803 after 246 more people tested positive for the virus from 4,149 samples within the last 24 hours.
All these government bodies at both the national level and the county level must publish information on the resources received so far and what these resources have been used for.
We'd rather work with no PPEs than give us substandard PPEs, because donning a substandard PPEs is actually worse than working without the PPEs. At this time, don't put business above the lives of Kenyans, above the lives of the health workers.
So what kind of investigation do we still need to do other than the government of Kenya showing us that we've put in prison these thieves. Somalia is doing better than us. We saw yesterday people have been put in 9 years, 18 years, 5 years. Why not Kenya?
Our cumulative number of confirmed cases now stands at 32,803. And the cumulative number of tests that we have conducted thus far stands at 429,513. All of the 246 cases that we are reporting today, positive cases, 5 of them are foreigners, the rest are Kenyans. Also happy to note today that 160 patients have recovered from the disease. 120 of them have been released from home-based care program and 34 have been discharged.
In Rwanda, 2 more people have died and 217 tested positive for COVID-19 in the last 24 hours, bringing the number of confirmed cases to 3,306 and casualties to 14. Out of the new patients, 202 were from 2 markets in Kigali, which were recently closed due to the coronavirus pandemic.
Kunapokucha unasikia watu wamekufa. Zamani kidogo angalau tukao tukisikia watu.
As each day comes, you hear of people dying. In recent past, we would hear of people being infected, but not of many deaths. If we continue on like this, the government will take action, even if it will mean we may need to go back to lockdown. The Minister of Health is placing emphasis on people being very cautious.
Hatujui, Wizara ya Afya inasisitiza watu wawe makini sana.
And the government in the Democratic Republic of Congo, through the Ministry of Industry, started to implement projects aimed at enabling women and youth to access loans and reduce poverty.
Yani Matadi, Lubumbashi, Kinshasa, ikiweko pia Goma.
Matadi, Lubumbashi, Kinshasa and Boma have been selected because it has been seen that they are areas where people work hard. Because there are people who, without even getting loans, know how to work hard, we decided to come and help youth and women in various fields get the money so that it can help them and subsequently help our economy. This will help us reap benefits and help the population develop.
That's all we leave off with international news. We'll be back with business news after this short break.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
We believe that the driver is the customer.
To change the mindset of traditional HR to digitalization.
Make sure that everybody can get some access to financial services.
And once we understand the vision of our leaders, we then need to be behind them and help them in achieving that vision.
Business have involved mercantile operations, trade guilds, or shared agricultural production, infrastructure, construction, financial sectors, tourism, and mining. Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Welcome back, and now in business news. Directors and executives of 4 institutions under the Ministry of Industry and Trade have started to scout for technology innovators in various parts of the country. This is being implementation of a directive given early this month by Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa at the climax of the Nane Nane Agricultural Fair at Nyakabindi Grounds in Simiyu region.
Tunataka hivi viwanda vidogo vikue vitoke hapo vilipo.
We want these small industries to grow from where they are and become big ones. We have many examples of such factories, so we assure him that SIDO will support him. There are services we provide, such as in technology. We also ensure we help you with markets.
Hizi mashine za kuchakata mkonge.
We have seen various machines here to process crop harvests. With this workshop here, he can be supported so that he can continue providing them. Our struggle with capital, the jobs I do are not here. You find I have to wait for someone to come with a job. Give me money before I can start it. A customer is supposed to come and find the product finished and ready for purchase.
In Lindi region, pigeon peas have for the first time been entered into the warehouse receipt system of the 2020 season after performing well in the second auction, whereby a kilo of pigeon peas sold at between 700 and 710 shillings.
Bei ya juu imeongezeka na kuwa bei shilingi 710.
The maximum price has increased to 710 shillings per kilo and the lowest 700 shillings per kilo. So we see that prices are becoming better as we move forward. In short, our current prices are rising, even though it is slowly. We expect that in the next auction, the price will go up again. We have encountered no payment issues from buyers. They are making efforts to pay on time.
Mbaazi sasa
And financial institutions have been advised to invest in various parts of the country, particularly rural areas, so as to expand services and enable more people access to loans.
Leo hii tumekuja kuizindua rasmi kwa vitendo kuonyesha ile sera ya serikali kusema kwamba inaboresha maisha ya wananchi.
Today we have come to officially launch and to show that we are physically implementing the government's policy and goal to improve the lives of citizens. We will hand over metal sheets to go with, and part of the benefits you get when you do business with us is that we give back. The metal sheets are worth 5 million shillings, and we want our children to study comfortably. There will be no point in bringing this service close to you and have you not use it. We were forced to go far to get banking services. Now the services have been brought close to you, so it is best that you take advantage of this and use them.
Sasa hivi huduma zipo karibu yenu. Imeletwa karibu yako, kwa hiyo ni vyema muitumie.
That's all for business news. Sports is next.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's going to be dragged through the second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's going to be dragged through the second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Opposition, Joaquinho, he did lose to Len.
And now in sports news.
Musa.
Former Tanzania head coach Emmanuel Amunike revealed his unhappiness following Farid Musa's return to the mainland Premier League. Here is more on this story.
A Taifa Stars striker left Tenerife CD of Spain and signed for YANGA Sports Club, where he will play for 1 year. The Nigerian tactician states the star should have remained in Spain and fight for his place. Amunike was Tanzania's coach during the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations AFCON in Egypt, where the team failed to pick up a single win in Group C.
And AZAM FC have confirmed the signing of striker Thierry Akono on a 2-year contract. Here's more.
The Cameroon international has arrived from AS Fortuna Dumfu and becomes the last signing for the ice cream makers in this transfer window. AZAM have been busy in the transfer market as they have already signed 6 players, among them Emmanuel Charles, former Gor Mahia keeper David Kisu Mapigano, Awesu, Ali Nionzima, Ismail Aziz and Ayub Lianga. Salum Shuaboy Abubakar committed his future to the club for 1 year despite intense interests from rivals Young Africans.
The Los Angeles Lakers are a single win away from their first playoff series victory since the 2011-2012 campaign after defeating the Portland Trail Blazers 135-115 in Game 4 of their Western Conference first-round playoff series at Walt Disney World Resort.
The Brown Jays led the way for the purple and gold with 30 points, who are up 3-1 after a third straight win following their Game 1 setback. Yusuf Narkic spearheaded the effort for a Portland team that has been largely playing with its back against the wall since it ended the bubble and will now need to win 3 in a row itself to advance. Both Anthony Davis and Damian Lillard were ruled out for the game after it was well in hand.
And Premier League clubs will be presented with a resolution to accept the standings as final if COVID-19 forces next season to a halt with at least 50% of fixtures played.
The plan described by insiders as a worst-case scenario is being pursued in the hope of preventing acrimony around how to determine final positions if coronavirus renders completing the campaign an impossibility. A league working group is due to put the proposal to clubs on 3rd of September, with confidence high to gain enough support. The title, European places and relegation, will then be determined this way.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin. On behalf of everyone who worked to bring you this bulletin, thank you for watching and good night.